Welcome, curious minds, to another video filled with astonishing facts that will tickle your brain. Today, we are diving into the world of sweet and nutritious fruits as we uncover the history of one of the most popular fruits in the world, avocados. Ever wondered how this beloved fruit came to be? If yes, then sit back and enjoy as we answer this very question. If you love avocados, and come on, who doesn't? You've likely heard the interesting story that says giant ground sloths from a long time ago are the reason we have avocados today. According to this tale, plants started making fruit to attract animals. These animals would then eat the fruit, digest the seeds, and spread them around through their waste. Unlike other fruits with small pits, avocados have big seeds. This suggests they needed big creatures like giant ground sloths to swallow the seeds whole and help spread them around. These huge animals used to roam North and South America a really long time ago, enjoying avocados and leaving their seeds everywhere during the Pleistocene age. But here's the thing, even though many people believe this story, there's actually no solid proof to back it up. The myth has spread as much as avocados themselves. So now people are taking a closer look at where avocados really come from to find out what's true and what's just a made-up story. Let's go back to the 1980s to find out how the idea that giant ground sloths played a big part in spreading avocados got started. In that time, a paper talked about plants in Costa Rica and suggested that big animals could help spread their seeds. It hinted at sloths but didn't mention avocados. Later that year, another paper built on this idea and guessed that the same concept could apply to avocados. It suggested that ground sloths might be the ones spreading avocado seeds. But here's the catch. Both papers didn't show any real data about sloths or avocados. Jump ahead to the 2000s, and this story made its way into popular science books, spreading the idea even more. Despite being popular, there's no solid proof to support the connection between giant ground sloths and avocados. It might be time to rethink how avocados really came about and figure out what's true and what's just a tasty story. Over the years, the idea that giant ground sloths played a role in spreading avocados has become widespread. It's been shared on various platforms as a fun and quirky fact, with articles and videos exploring this supposed connection. Despite its popularity, no study or project has found any evidence proving that sloths actually ate avocados. So the question is, what kind of evidence would really link avocados to the sloth's diet? And how can we find it? The answer lies in the world of science. To make a convincing connection, one important thing we need is evidence that the sloths and avocados existed in the same place and time. Ideally, we'd find fossilized remains of both species in the archaeological record, dating between 2.58 million years ago and 11,700 years ago, roughly when ground sloths were disappearing. Even more convincing would be finding traces of avocados in sloth fossilized feces, showing that sloths actually ate the fruit. But as of now, none of these pieces of evidence have been discovered. When we look at the geographical distribution, fossil bones, and feces of ground sloths like mylodons and lestodons, they were mainly in South America during the Pleistocene, specifically in what is now Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. On the other hand, the first true avocados only appeared in southern Mexico around the same time. There are other ancient sloth species like the slightly smaller Nothrotheriops genus whose droppings match more closely with the origin of avocados. However, just living in the same place and time doesn't definitively prove that sloths actually ate avocados. Figuring out what these ancient creatures ate is a tricky job. Studies looking at the carbon and nitrogen in lestodon bones suggest that giant sloths mainly ate bush plants, which might include fruits. However, this method can't tell us exactly which parts of the plants they chowed down on. Coprolites from smaller sloths in Argentina showed leftovers of grasses and sedges. Megasloths seem to prefer a diet of grasses and shrubs, without any sign of laurel plants, which are part of the avocado family. Even newer techniques looking at sloth teeth and isotopes revealed a diverse diet, depending on the kinds of shrubs and plants available. But these methods didn't specifically tell us if sloths ate avocados. To make things more complicated, some ancient sloths, like Darwin's ground sloth, were probably omnivores. The analysis of their hair suggests that they might have had a diet that included meat. This makes us wonder if other sloth species might have been into meat as well. Despite all this info about what ground sloths ate, none of it gives us any hint that avocados were on their menu. Here's another factor that weakens the argument about megafauna and avocados. Avocado pits from about 10,000 years ago are only half the size of today's avocado seeds, measuring around 2 centimeters wide, compared to the common 5.5 to 6 centimeters in grocery store avocados. This big difference in size makes us wonder if avocado pits initially started so small, what could explain the change into the larger pits we see today? Surprisingly, the likely answer isn't massive prehistoric animals, but another large mammal in Mexico: humans. Avocados were a significant food source for people in Mesoamerica, who started growing them in the Tehuacan-Cuicatlan Valley about 10,000 years ago. Archaeological evidence shows that avocado pits have gradually gotten bigger over time. This suggests that people in Mesoamerica might have intentionally chosen avocados with larger pits. The reason for the choice could be many. Maybe larger pits were linked to bigger fruits, or a bigger seed was believed to help the tree grow better. A big seed rich in starches and fats could feed the plant during germination, increasing the chances of a planted seed growing into a fruitful tree. The reason behind these bigger pits might also have connections to mythology. Ancient Mayans believed in people being reincarnated as trees, so they planted fruit trees around their homes. Avocado fruits, linked with strength, were thought to pass that strength on to those who ate them. So growing larger avocados was seen as a way to gain more strength. But figuring out exactly how and when these pits got bigger is tricky because wild avocados during that time varied a lot in size, influenced by different environmental conditions. Some experts think that ancient Mesoamericans were either domesticating fruit from nearby forests or that their cultivated trees were sharing genes with wild ones. Genetic studies looking at around 30 different avocado varieties suggest that avocados were domesticated 3 separate times in at least 3 different places across Central America, including high and lowlands of central Mexico, Guatemala, and the West Indies. Mesoamerican farming techniques, like agroforestry, involved growing crops together and cultivating within existing forests. This unique approach, different from standard domestication, led to the variety in avocado pit sizes, influenced by farming practices and gene flow during that period. In simple terms, the story of how avocados became a brunch favorite worldwide probably doesn't have much to do with ground sloths. So, the next time you enjoy a fresh avocado, just give a shout out to the Mesoamericans who played a big role in making this tasty fruit perfect. And there you have it, folks, the incredible origin of the avocado. We hope you enjoyed this journey as much as we did and have come to appreciate avocados even more. If you like this video, then be sure to subscribe and click on our next one for more.